non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno.
Hello and welcome to August. You're so welcome that I'm starting this vlog looking like this. It's a cold and stormy night. It's the 1st of August and it's 6 p.m. Let me just put you down for a second. I've just done some exercises, which is why I look particularly disheveled, but I think we're beyond the point of caring. In terms of what we're doing, well, what's August? What's happening in August? So reminder for everyone who perhaps hasn't seen my previous vlog, I'm house sitting, I'm in a different house. I'm here for a little while. And so we're still trying to find our feet in terms of what to do with myself all day, every day outside of work. So really not all day, every day, but that's fine. Let's do a little shout out, shall we? I'll tell you about the Half-Blood Prince in a second. I'm back on the rep team for this company called Devoured Pages Book Sleeves. You can find them on Instagram, and I will try and remember to leave a link below. They're a book sleeve company. They do more than just that, but their book sleeves are by far the best book sleeves I've ever used. So you can use my code, which is snail10, and that will get you a 10% discount off any orders. They've got heaps of fun patterns. This is a Christmas gnomes pattern that I use all year round because I have a great love of gnomes. And yeah, I'm not mad about it. I love this one so much. So yeah, some of them come with poppers. Some of them come in a smaller size. Some of them are just like, look like that. You can get Goliath sizes. You can get book bags. You can get bookmarks. You can get mug rugs. You can get so many things. So, anyway, just a small shout out. They're a really lovely Australian-based company, so if you're looking for a place to get some book sleeves and you want them from Australia, then that would be the place to go. Anyway, I am this far through the Half-Blood Prince and loving it. I'm basically at page 200 out of 600. I'm gonna watch some TV now on a wild whim. And then I might do some reading later and go to bed, maybe edit some videos. So anyway, I'm watching The Great at the moment because I'm just so bad at watching TV, so I'm still making my way through that. That's the Catherine the Great satire thing on Stan. Anyways, that's where we're at now. Looking ahead for August, I'm still going to be here for the whole of August in this house. I don't think I have too many things planned, like a couple of social evenings out, but on the whole should be pretty chill. I'm going to try and go to a really big secondhand book fair in like mid-August, but otherwise no holidays, no nothing, so this should be the most normal month we've had in a while. Of August. It's raining, if you can't hear that. It's also 6:30 p.m. I'm really over this storm. This stormy weather has been with us since like Saturday or Sunday. It's been like 2 or 3 days now. We've got one more day of it tomorrow and then it's passing. And I'm just like, weirdly tiring when the weather is so nasty. It's been so windy and I'm so over it. I'm so over worrying about tree branches falling on my car. It is almost perfect snuggle weather for just being in a reading. However, it's so windy and loud half the time that it's like mildly stressful, which is ruining the vibe. But anyway, I wanted to just check in and say that I've read about half of the Half-Blood Prince. And the plan is once I finish that, I'm going to just read the Deathly Hallows and finish the reread and then focus on other books. There's so much I want to read at the moment, and I've been having lots of conversations about a book I hauled in my last book haul, which is called Lapvona by Ottessa Mossfegh, and it's just got the weirdest cover, and the more conversations I'm having with people about it, the more keen I am to pick it up. So as a small aside to anyone who keeps up regularly with like year-long how I track my books, I still think we're a few months off me doing an actual TBR again. I'm still really enjoying the freedom. But moreover, I don't feel like I'm freely picking yet. I still feel like I'm playing catch up, and I just want to get out of that phase where I don't have a bajillion review copies, where I've got into a good rhythm with reading and I'm getting through them, and so that I can actually be like, oh, I'm going to read this one after that. But I still feel like there's always 10 books between me and the next book that I would pick freely, sort of thing. So anyway, those are some random thoughts for you tonight, and I'm really hoping to read a solid chunk of the Half-Blood Prince tonight, but we'll see how distracted I get, I suppose. It's nearly 8 AM and it's the 5th, I think it's the 5th of August, and I've just finished reading, I'm making my breakfast, and I just finished reading Harrow the Ninth, and I confess that I just have no idea what went on in that book. I've got no idea. I'm so confused. I read several reviews about halfway through when I first realised that this was a really nonsensical book because of the insanity of the character and everything else going on, and someone had said, like, don't expect to know what's going on until well after the halfway mark. So with that, I happily just continued on and thought, that's fine. Like, at like maybe 70%, I'll suddenly go, oh. And then with like 30 minutes to go, I went, maybe it's all going to come together at the end. There were certain things that made more sense in the very final chapters of the book, but I did find overall, I am so confused by what happened, and the epilogue has further confused me. I didn't find it easy at all to follow the story, to know what was going on. Yeah, I'm not disappointed though. I knew that this was going to be a difficult book to understand, and I really loved book one. So that would be my toast. So yeah, I'm just a bit, like, I think I'm going to rate it 3 stars for now, because I think, in all fairness, as much as I really enjoyed the audiobook and the reading experience, and it's quite fun and there's lots of like, what moments, at the end of the day, I didn't understand the book. There was part of me that was like, maybe I should rate it 2 stars, but I have every intention of rereading it. I'm going to go and buy the books, and I'm going to read it in physical format so I can just like really take my time with it and try and understand what's going on. But yeah, it's got to be 3 stars for now. I just have no idea what was going on, and I feel like I didn't come out of the end of it like other people have, where they've said that was just beyond incredible, which is how I felt after book 1. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Like, if I'm gonna say I'm annoyed at anything, it's that I didn't get it, and that I felt that everyone else did, but that is possibly because I did the audiobook, and reading comprehension whilst you're doing other things obviously is not going to be quite as good for complex books. So I don't know if I'm going to pre-order the last one for an audiobook at the moment. I had really wanted to do all of the books via audio, but I think if it's been this hard to comprehend, I probably need to read the last one, which is coming out, I think, next month. So yeah, 3 stars for now. I'm gonna have to look up, I think, some reviews and try and find some spoiler reviews, and hopefully someone can explain what happened, because I don't even really have any inkling of an idea. Like, I read a whole book and I'm not sure I could tell you what happened. I don't understand it. So what a wild ride that was. So anyway, I'm gonna take a little break, I think, before I start my next audiobook, because I'm gonna take a little bit of time to process that. Busy week. It's the 9th of August and I can finally check in and say that I have an update and that I have finished a book. So yesterday I finished reading The Half-Blood Prince, book 6 in the Harry Potter series, and it was amazing as expected. This is a reread for me. I've reread this series many times, as I've explained, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly traumatized, but thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm now rolling straight on to reading the Deathly Hallows to finish my reread of Harry Potter, and then I'll be moving on to some other books. But I just wanted to get the reread sort of done, because I've been rereading it over a prolonged period of time now, and I'm just ready to get to the end and be sad. It's been a really just busy sort of time. I really thought I would have more time house sitting than I have done. And so I wanted to also just give the update and explanation in here that I'm really struggling to find time to film normal videos and edit them. 9th of August, I haven't even started editing my July vlog yet, and I'm going to try and do that tonight, but I'm just really lacking time. I have very few evenings or hours to myself at the moment. I'm either doing chores, seeing my family, seeing Chris, seeing friends. There's just like so much to do all of a sudden. So I'm really battling with the disparity between my expectations of what house sitting would be like versus the reality. I thought this would be an extended period of time where I just had so much time to myself, where I hardly had anything to do other than look after myself, basically. And it's been absolutely the opposite. I've got way less time than I had when I'm usually at home. So anyway, that's sort of just a little update on how things are going. It's also impacting how much reading I'm getting done. I'm making like a really, really concerted effort to get reading done. I've not got all the audiobook time and driving time that I usually do. My new audiobook that I've started is Spellbreaker. It's a world where some people can make spells and some people can break them. And the main character is someone who breaks them. And they sound like they're a bit of a, not necessarily taboo, but maybe not the most loved people in society. I am under an hour into that audiobook. It's a pretty short one, it's only 10 hours, so I will keep you updated as to how that read goes. Yeah, at the moment it's really just been a daily battle for finding time to read, finding time to edit a video, finding time to write blog posts. I really want to have more time to do all of that, and I'm really struggling to carve out time for it. So I'm hoping that maybe I manage to do it, but this might also just be a bit of a slow time till I'm back home. I am house sitting for quite an extended period of time, so I may just have to make amends with that, and I think that that's fine. And it's probably always a lesson to be learnt to be flexible, because situations change and sometimes things aren't what you think they're going to be. So if you haven't seen very many videos from me up until this point, then I won't apologize, but I'll just say I have been busy living life, and when I'm back in a normal routine and pattern, I'm sure I'll be back to normal again. It's the 10th of August. I completely forgot what month we were in, and I feel like I'm doing a really, really bad job in filming footage for you guys this month. I always feel like that when I vlog. I'm always like, oh no, I haven't really filmed enough, and then when I go to put it all together, it's totally fine and there's enough footage. Anyway, if you feel like there is lacking footage this month, I apologize. I just kind of keep forgetting. Anyway, just as a small update, because I felt like updating you this far through the Deathly Hallows. I've been reading this for, what, 2-3 days now? So I'm at page 110 out of somewhere around 600 in this. So I am going to just read this as fast as I can, because I am loving it, I'm traumatized by it, and I'm also ready to move on to things that aren't Harry Potter now. I feel like I've scratched my Harry Potter itch for this year, so I'm looking forward, like I'm excited that I'm up to the last book now and I'm close to moving on to other reads. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to read next. I kind of want to read something new, but I also feel like I need to be careful what I pick after Harry Potter, because when you read things that, for me, have been so good and like unparalleled in the storytelling, it can be like the next book it will suffer. Like my opinion of it will suffer because my expectations are too high. So I'm debating finishing A Court of Silver Flames, because I already know I like that and because that's a known author to me, but I also just feel a little bit tired at the thought of reading another like 800-page long chonky book. So that remains undecided at this point, but I'm obsessively thinking about all the books I want to read. 14th of August and I have just had some time to do some filming today, which has been really nice, and I managed to get a review done for you guys of The Wolf Den, which is up and you can watch. Should be up anyway. I just love that book so much. I really enjoyed revisiting that in a review. I have now read to page 250 in The Deathly Hallows. I have just been picking away at it throughout the week, but I feel like whilst I'm house sitting, I'm really just not finding as much time as I thought I would have to read, so I'm just going to go with the flow, and until I'm back at home permanently, obviously I am back home at the moment, I'm not really anticipating that I'm going to power through as much reading as I thought I would, which is a little bit of a shame, but that's just life, isn't it? So hopefully I will get some time to read this afternoon and get through a little bit more of The Deathly Hallows. I'm really looking forward, in like a sad way, of getting to the end of the book and to the Battle of Hogwarts, but I'm not quite sure when exactly I will finish this book off and start the next one. Hey guys, it's somewhere around the 15th of August and it is Monday, and I wanted to let you know where I'm at with reading and with life. So it's another rainy day today and I'm obviously in my pajamas, I've showered and I'm about to make dinner. I've sort of got all of my chores done that I needed to get done this evening, so it's just gone about 7:20 in the evening, so I've got a bit of time now to myself, which is the best thing ever. And what I'm planning to do is try and read a little bit more of Deathly Hallows, maybe. Not sure, haven't quite decided on reading plans tonight. I am halfway through The Deathly Hallows now. I'm just over the page 300 mark. But I want to see how much of this I can read tonight. This is one of Natasha Lester's earlier books, What Is Left Over After, and I'm reading this for work. And in my overly ambitious state as usual, I actually want to see if I can just get through this whole thing today. I need to read it for work, so I really just need to understand the story and what it's about. I don't need to spend too much time with the book. So once I've made dinner, I am planning to sit down with a cup of tea and start making my way through this. I've got a weird little motivational thing going on where I don't actually have more than one bookmark with me at the moment. I'm not sure what I was thinking when I didn't bring some spares, but I have no bookmark to hold my place, so maybe that'll be enough motivation to try and get through as much of this as I can. But I'm really hoping that I can polish this one off quickly, because my reading time has just been abysmal lately and it's really upsetting when I don't seem to have the time. But I've been really busy with family and just life generally, so I'm not finding a lot of time to sit down and read just at the moment. But I am reevaluating some things and my schedules to try and find some more time for me. To also spontaneously make cookies. Can't do them without them falling off. And I'm thrilled because I have been making several attempts on my standard cookie recipe. And look at them, look at the happy fellas. This has taken so, this is attempt 3 to get them right, because this is a really big oven. Look how big this oven is. It's like you could actually put me in that. But let's not do that. Anyway, the point is, because it's bigger, it cooks faster, and I kept burning them, but they look so damn good, and I'm so happy. But anyway, that was, you know, that was a full-on cook. I decided halfway through a dinner, of which there were many components, to also make cookies, because why not? It's the next morning, and I actually got so much reading done last night. What Is Left Over After has proved to be quite an easy read, so I do not have a bookmark, as I said, but I got up to page 160, which is about that far through, so I've got, I think, less than 100 pages to go, so I'm absolutely going to finish that off tonight or on my lunch break today. and I'm really enjoying it. It's my first book by Natasha Lester that I've read, and there's something quite beautiful about the way that it's written. This one is about a mother whose first child, we don't quite know, but her first child hasn't survived, and the whole point of the book seems to be a little bit mysterious as to whether it was a stillborn birth or something happened afterwards. And it kind of really rocks the foundation of her relationship. And so she, essentially, the plot is that she runs away to Perth, where I live, and strikes up a friendship with a younger girl there and shares her life story about what her relationship was like with her mother. And it's just a really interesting story. It's really different to anything I've read before, and it has me quite excited to move on and read some other stuff by Natasha Lester next. I'm just on my way home from work, and it's the 17th of August, but I wanted to show you that I picked up two books from work today, which I'm really excited about. The first one is the American version of this book called Whiskey and Charlie, but in Australia it's called Whiskey Charlie Foxtrot. And the other one is Blood and Ink by Brett Adams, and I've been really looking forward to reading this one, so super excited to have copies of them. Exciting thing of the book sale that comes around once a year in Perth, or twice a year actually, but once that I go, was on this weekend, and so I have had a brilliant time. I have not long been back from the fair and actually come in with a huge number of books, so I have just been filming all of my haul for like this last month, which is largely comprised of all the books that I got from here. So I have had such a fun time going through and picking out some great reads and books that I've really wanted to get. It's been an amazing time. I'm just unpacking my little bag. I've just come back from Mum and Dad's, which is where you saw me earlier, and now I'm back at the house sit. And I have really I don't think I've done any reading today, so just thought I would check in, let you know that that's all I'm doing. I'm quite hopeful that I might just be able to either edit a video tonight or possibly read a book. But first things first is I've got to wash my little fruit and veggie before I put them away, and then I'm going to shower and take off this makeup, and then I think I will tuck myself up in bed with a cup of tea and see what the evening brings. Though the book haul that I filmed today is such a long video, there was just so many books to talk about, so that's going to take me a while. Last week I managed to do it on Sunday evening and edit a whole video before I went to bed, considering that it's like 9:40 at the moment, but I'm not sure I'll be able to pull off the same feat today. It's the next morning and I feel like I look as tired as I feel today. I'm just having breakfast now before I get ready for work, but I think I'm ready to admit that I'm in a reading slump right now. I can't believe we're on the last week of August and I've only read 3 books this month. I do have the last Harry Potter here, and I've still got that much to go. I'm hoping to come home from work tonight and actually just sit down and finish it off, because I'm not sure why I've just lost momentum. I was really excited about reading Harry Potter, but I feel like I've just suddenly hit a wall. But it's a lovely day today, so hopefully that will pick up my spirits. But I'm really keen to move on to something else. I have to say, I've just not really been feeling like reading all that much anyway. So I've been spending a lot of time actually just talking and hanging out with like family and friends and working on other things, other little projects that aren't really book related, mostly spreadsheets. But I would very much so like to finish the Deathly Hallows today. So it is later that same day. I have to say I'm feeling a bit better than I felt this morning. I am just putting dinner together, making a spag bowl, which is just on its way, and I'm trying to get some reading done whilst cooking. I feel like I read a fair chunk on my lunch break today. I'm just over, like I'm really getting to the point where things are going to start happening now. So that's exciting, and I'm feeling motivated to pick it up at least and try and multitask whilst cooking, so that's going to be a good sign. I am literally planning on just basically reading once dinner is ready tonight. I'm maybe gonna have a bath or something, but ultimately the plan is just to finish off the book. I've been getting really excited about books again. I feel like I have acknowledged the slump, and the slump is easing off because I've been like looking towards, in particular, books I've been gifted and the ones I want to get around to. So I'm really excited to move on to something new now. So let's hope I can finish it tonight. Right, we're running a bath now, and then I'm gonna be tackling the rest of this. So I have like 460, no, I've read 460 pages, goodness, and I've got less, whatever. There's 600 pages in total, someone do the maths. Less than 200 pages to go. So we're gonna have a nice relaxing bath and see how far through I can get over the next 40 minutes, however long I'm in the bath for. Morning everyone, next day. Wow, it's early, I'm tired. I stayed up really late finishing the Deathly Hallows, but it's now finished, which means I can pick up a new book, and the plan is to read Where the Crawdads Sing next and get in on the action of this one. It's like 9 p.m. on the 24th of August. I'm like 60 pages? Yeah, I'm 60 pages into Crawdads. To start with the accents that are like written on the page, like myself and I do this, and because it's obviously set in Southern America, presumably, really annoyed me. But at this point, I finally switched over to it adding personality to the book. I'm very on the fence about it so far. Like, it's good. I'm intrigued to read more. But like, you know, I don't know. I know there's supposed to be like a big twist at the end of this, so I'm just like really curious to see what's got everyone's knickers in a twist. Welcome to the 25th of August, and it is very close to being 8 o'clock, so I am not long about to head off for work. I've started my morning today by doing a little bit of editing. I actually got up a bit earlier today, about half an hour earlier, just to have a little bit more time to try and edit this video for you guys. It's my book haul for August, which is massive. And the internet where I'm currently house sitting isn't strong enough to upload my videos, so I've been trying to time my editing for when I visit back home, which I haven't quite managed to do, so I'll be doing a little bit more editing tonight. But it looks like it's gonna be a really nice day today, so I am excited to take on the day. Should be a good day. In terms of Crawdads, I read to very close to page 100, and I'm looking forward to reading more, but I have been focusing energies on editing since I last put it down. I just actually did the best parallel park ever, and it was in front of a whole audience of angry cars waiting for me to park, and I hope that they can all take that throughout their day of being like, wow, she did that perfectly in one go. Getting towards the end of August. It's about 10 p.m. on the 29th of August, and since I've last checked in, I have finished reading the audiobook that I've been listening to all month, which I've barely spoken about, I feel like, but that was Spellbreaker. And I ended up reading it 3 stars. It was about a 10-hour audiobook, so it was a shorter one, which is why I read it, because I'm doing smaller commutes right now, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I don't think I really liked the audiobook performance. I do think the story itself was okay, and I think the magic was fun. It was about some people could make spells, some people could break spells, and the main character is a spellbreaker, and it was sort of a bit of a mystery wrapped up into it as well. I'd be tempted, if I didn't have lots of other books I wanted to read, to reread it in physical format and then continue on with the sequel, because it's a duology, but I think there is enough other things for me to read that I probably won't continue that series, and I don't know if I'd ever reread it. But yeah, I would recommend reading it and not listening to it out of personal preference. In terms of what I'm physically reading right now, I am at page 300 out of like 360 in Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really curious about how it's going to wrap up. I've started really enjoying it more as I've got closer to the end. I guess when the drama's sort of peaking and you're sort of understanding the story a bit more. I'm hopeful that I can finish this tonight, but I probably won't stay up too much later, so this might be a tomorrow or a Wednesday job. It'd be lovely to finish this off within August and round it out with a nice 6-book month, but we'll see if I actually manage it or not. Feeling really excited about reading, and I'm looking forward to picking up a new book once I finish this one. But yeah, cannot wait to see how I feel about this book once I finish it. So I did finish Crawdads last night. It's the next morning. I am really pleased that I managed to tick it off and finish it in August. So we're up to 6 books now, and it's the 30th. This is 2 more days. Not anticipating I'll finish anything else. Crawdads was a 4-star read for me. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't totally blown away, and I think that despite my best efforts to not be like overtaken by the hype of it all, it still perhaps dampened the experience a little bit for me. But I just really enjoyed the setting, and I thought it was a really interesting commentary on prejudices. It's also an interesting look at abandonment and like love and trust factors. But more so, I thought that the way that prejudice was represented, and there's sort of the community attitudes are examined in this book, was very well done, and I'm really excited to see the film for it, because I just the way that Delia Owens has described and constructed the Marsh and Kaya's relationship with the Marsh was really beautiful, really well done. So I really enjoyed that, and I'm glad that I've now read it. So I've now moved on, and we'll be starting 6 Crimson Cranes today. This wasn't technically what I was going to read, but the sequel actually comes out today. And this is a book that Chris got me, so I really want to read it so I can report back to him. And I feel like I'm due a YA fantasy, so that's where we're at. My other options were The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Book Lovers. So yep, we're gonna have a little read of that one. And I've started reading The Pariah on audiobook. So I went for a little walk this morning and started that one, and it's all about sort of outlaws, so it's very Robin Hood-esque, which feels quite appropriate given that I've recently read Robin Hood. So that's where we're at now. It's the 31st of August now, and I'm about 60 pages into 6 Crimson Cranes. Really enjoying it. I think it's a really fun sort of premise, and I'm very excited about where it's about to go. I think I'm going to try and like marathon the whole thing tonight. I was debating the merits of pausing and starting something else, Book Lovers, to see if I could get through it, but I've decided that I want to stick to my guns here, because this is really easy reading, like really easy. It's quite young, but for now I'm going to go for a walk before the sun goes down, before I start my evening, and I'm going to listen to Pariah, which I'm already loving. So I've got my earphones in, ready to go for a little walk and listen to that for about half an hour, and I'm excited. I really like Pariah so far, so I can just see this becoming a new favourite, so let's hope. PM, 100 pages in. Let's see how much further we can get. So it's like 9:30 at night now, and I am at page 150. This is not turning out how I thought it would, in a good way, because I'm not like I'm approaching halfway, but we're not quite halfway. And I feel like the story I was expecting it to span has sort of happened within the first 100 pages. And it's going beyond what I was anticipating, which is really exciting, because I was thinking this is going quite fast. It's a very like speedy read, but yeah, this book has more going for it than anticipated, and it's got some nice twistiness happening too. I am going to read until I fall asleep now, but I'm not anticipating that I'll finish it. That would be 300 pages of reading, and I don't have that kind of superpower. I'm not expecting to finish anything more in August, as much as I would love to, but I am excited to see where the rest of the story goes, and what a great way to start September as well. It's the end of August now, and I didn't quite finish 6 Crimson Cranes last night. despite best efforts, but I did get halfway. So let's have a little recap over everything that I read in August. August was a strange month. It felt like a real battle to get through books. I just felt like I was in a bit of a reading slump off the back of finishing The Brightest Star in July. I felt like I was just really on the back foot with things. And then I felt like I was just not really making a lot of progress. So I do feel like in the last week of August, I sort of came out of that and picked up a bit. So I ended up reading 6 books, which is decent, but I want to read a little bit more than that if I want to hit my goal of 100 books this year. I've read 66 books out of the realistic goal of 88, which is how much I read last year. But I am 8 books ahead of that schedule, so I'm pretty close to being able to do 100, which I've never done before. So I'm really, really hopeful that I will find some time, and I'm feeling good about September, but you'll have to watch my September wrap up to find out about that. So the first book that I finished was Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This was a 3-star read for me. I listened to this on audiobook and I read it pretty quickly after reading the first book, which is Gideon the Ninth, so it's book 2. I did love it, but I found it very, very confusing, and it's certainly a book I want to reread. The third book in the series and final, actually it might be a quartet, is coming out in September. And I am planning to probably read that physically. I don't think I'm going to do another audiobook just because it's quite a hard story to keep track of whilst driving and doing other things. So I'm anticipating that I'll reread the series and my rating for Harrow will go up. But I had to just leave it at 3 stars because it was such a baffling read, but in a kind of good way. I then finished my reread of The Half-Blood Prince, which was really, really good. It's made me, because a couple books later I also finished The Deathly Hallows. So I've now finished rereading the Harry Potter series, which was great. And I've been reading it with Chris, who also really enjoyed it. The Order of the Phoenix has been my, not long-standing, but been my favourite in this series for a while. But I enjoyed The Half-Blood Prince enough that I'm wondering if that maybe has taken over. But I still think there's just something really lovely about book 5, so I'm still going to say that's probably my favourite. I read a book for work which is called What Is Left Over After. It's one of Natasha Lester's earlier books. That was really wonderful, and it's all about sort of moving on or trying to move on with life after having a stillborn child. So it was quite a heavy read, but also very quick, and I read it within a couple of days. So I then finished my next audiobook, which was Spellbreaker by Charlie Holmberg. And this was, again, okay. I'm not sure that the audiobook performance worked for me. I found the narration to be very wooden and just wasn't really doing it for me. So I rated this 3 stars. Concept was cool. It's sort of set in an alternate historical London / England, and the main character is a spellbreaker as opposed to a spellmaker, and she's getting directions from this mysterious group who tell her what to do and which spells to break, sort of thing. And she also meets a man who is, I think he's Jamaican, and he's trying to get his master level in spell making. And there's like several different plot lines, and I thought it was done well in terms of misleading you as to what is the main crux of the matter for the book. And I thought the reveal was interesting, and it kind of got more exciting than I anticipated, but I just wasn't wowed by it. It was very run-of-the-mill for me, so I don't think I'll read book 2. Maybe one day I'd reread it in physical format, but I don't really foresee myself doing that. And then the last book I finished reading was Where the Crawdads Sing, and that was really lovely. That was a 4-star read for me. It didn't blow me away. It wasn't my favourite book I've ever read, but I did really enjoy it. It is a really, really interesting and I think well done sort of commentary on prejudice and on trust and family. It's definitely an interesting story. I can see why it's really popular. I loved the atmosphere of the book and thought it was very aesthetic and atmospheric to read. So I would definitely be recommending that. And I think it's worthy of the attention it's getting. But that was all I read. And then obviously halfway through 6 Crimson Cranes, and I'm currently listening to The Pariah. So I'm really, really hopeful that September will see an increase yet again in the amount of reading I'm doing. I'm home in about 3 weeks now, so the last week of September I will be back home. So it'll be interesting to see how the month goes and how much time I end up having. But I'm looking forward to everything I've got lined up. So thanks for sticking by and watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.